This is your last one and a courtesy call.
Hey guys, welcome back. Orbomb here, bringing you the semi-finals of the Major Pokemon League, the MPL. We've made it. You didn't get a battle last week because it was my bye week. So I actually didn't have to battle. I ended up being top of the division, and what battle happened was for our divisional match was Byser versus Pterodactyl. All three of us had the top scores. I was just barely above them, so I didn't have to battle, so I get to battle the one that beats them. And Byser was the one that beat Pterodactyl, which is unfortunate because you guys know I really wanted to battle Pat again in like a real match. I was so excited because Pat was one of the few people that beat me. I was like, I loved his team so much. He had that broken Torrentee, but we got to battle Byser instead, and Byser also beat me. But I didn't prep last time to battle Byser, so today we're gonna show you guys what happens when your boy preps. Hopefully everything goes well this game, because the winner of this game goes against either Blake, Moxie Infernape, or Daniki is how he pronounces it. It's spelled Daniki. It's D-A-N-E-K-I-I. It's Daniki. But or Daniki if he beats Blake. So yeah, that's pretty exciting. Byser's team is very, very scary. He's got things like Zapdos, Victini, Nidoking, which we all know Nidoking absolutely poops on my squadron, which is why I was able to make that amazing trade with Denchby for the Rotom Wash, which has been very convenient. What else does he have that's really threatening to my team? He has Blastoise, which just walls a lot of my squadron. He has a lot of threats to our team, so hopefully we can come through this game. And because I didn't really get a chance to prep against Byser last time, we're going to go actually into deep detail of my prep against Byser. I'm going to pull it up here in a second. Because I feel like it's going to define the way I play this game. This is going to be post-com because, as you guys already know, I have a lot of trouble recording in my house right now. There's a lot of family issues going on, and recording in my house is not really an option, which is why I'm back at my friend's house recording again. Audio might sound a bit different than usual. And also there was a disconnect about like 2/3 of the way through the game, so there might be some visual changes a little bit between games. I apologize I apologize for that ahead of time. This is in Byser's perspective because he actually live recorded, which is why we have this first half of the game, or else we would have lost that to the abyss. So thanks to Byser. Huge shout out to Byser for passing this to me so that we can actually get a video out for you guys. I know that you guys are all excited for this. I'm relatively hyped. Let's go over my team. In the lead spot, I have Tyranitar. Now, I have this Tyranitar, and it took me hours to like calc the perfect set that could deal with almost every single member of his team, bar Blastoise. And I can't deal with Nidoking. I don't want it to deal with Nidoking, but it was mainly bar Blastoise. He was the only Fizz-Def Pokemon I couldn't really touch with this Pokemon, but he doesn't want to come in on crunches feeling defense drops, or Stone Edges fearing crits because of the high crit chance. So I decided I had one game plan this game. He also has a Mega Heracross. Mega Heracross, there's a lot of my Pokemon that can beat it. So I was thinking, alright, so I have Rotom Wash over here. I'm going to lead with Rotom Wash 100% unless he has the Mega Heracross against me. If that's the case, I'm always going to be leading Tyranitar, and I'll explain to you why that is in a second. Tyranitar is Chople Berry. Now, he doesn't have any fighting type Pokemon in his squadron that I can think of, but Pokemon that can run things like Brick Break, Hidden Power Fighting, the things that can actually OHKO my Tyranitar. And the last thing I needed was my Tyranitar to be crit OHKO'd with any attack at all. So I decided to run the Chople Berry. I didn't need an attack boosting item, I didn't need a Scarf, I didn't need Specs, I didn't need none of that stuff. I just needed Tyranitar to Pursuit Trap the Azelf that he has, or 2-hit KO, knock out the defensive Zapdos with Stone Edge, or 2-shot the Ferrothorn with Fire Blast. Because Fire Blast, if he's max per def, it does, I think, a minimum of 56%. So unless you got off the Leech Seed, I always 2-shot it, and it's very unlikely that he's going to be running max per def because usually you want to calc for all sorts of different things. So I pretty much guaranteed a 2-shot with Fire Blast if I land them both. So it's very, very specific. The Crunch OHKOs the Victini unless he's some sort of an HP investment, and if he is, he can't OHKO my Tyranitar. I don't even think he can 2-shot me. because I resist all of his stab. I'm immune to a psychic stab. He can only hit me with fighting type moves like Brick Break, which I do take 2 because of Chopper Berry and my defense investments. And with my Spadef investments, I do take special hits like Focus Blast. This actually makes me survive a Focus Blast from what was it, after like max spikes and Stealth Rock. I survive a Focus Blast from a Gengar, which is his hardest hitting Focus Blast user. I also knock out the oh, sorry for the, oh, I don't know if you guys heard that. You might have heard that. Also what's it called? Yeah, I survived Gyro Ball, Power Whip with Tyranitar 2, letting me survive 2 so I can knock him out. I think Power Whip did a max, if he's uninvested in attack, it did a max of 49%. So I will always, if I'm at full, I'll always survive 2 Power Whips. And like its min was like 38, so we had a pretty good chance of surviving 2 even if we weren't at max HP, which is convenient. Tyranitar was there to, no matter what, it was guaranteed to get a kill or put things in range of my Mega Medicham. And this week, unlike last time, I am bringing Bullet Punch and Mega Medicham. Last time we got messed up because Fake Out wasn't enough. We didn't have enough priority to deal with a Scarf Azelf. Apparently, he brings Scarf Azelf to almost all of his battles, from what I've been hearing, which is really, really weird. I guess he wants to outspeed all of his opponents' Scarface, which is understandable. I just feel like Scarf Azelf is weak. Doesn't do enough damage, but we definitely want to make sure that we can beat it because it will do enough damage if my team gets weakened. So we are bringing Fake Out and Bullet Punch. Bullet Punch is because he does have a Diancie, so Bullet Punch actually helps with that too. Plus Bullet Punch does give me that priority that I need for against a lot of his team members. He did bring Rocky Helmet Zapdos last time too, but Ice Punch does a minimum of 56, so if he's max defense, bold, all that nonsense, we still do 2-shot the Medicham, we still do 2-shot the Zapdos, and if he's offensive, we OHKO after rocks damage, which is very, very nice. And he can't OHKO us unless he's like Life Orb, I think, and then like Thunderbolt OHKOs us. High Jump Kick is there. I was really considering not bringing High Jump Kick because I don't think I would ever go for it, but Drain Punch doesn't OHKO the Ferrothorn if I'm stuck in that position, and High Jump Kick is just a nuke. I don't want anything running Protect. I don't want to be that guy, so that's why like I'm probably not gonna be bringing High Jump Kick next week either. Depending on who I battle, I don't even think it's that necessary. But Fake Out, Bullet Punch is there to just clean up. I have a lot of Pokemon in this team that are meant to weaken, and after the weakened damage, Medicham kind of picks up kills. So that's the whole goal. I also run Ice Punch. Ice Punch hits things like also like what's it called? The Nidoking. It does OHKO the Nidoking. Unless he's Scarf Nidoking, we outspeed it. I didn't want to run Max Speed, even though he does have things like Victini. I get hardwalled by Victini anyway, so I don't feel a point to run Max Speed. I have switches to Victini, Medicham, and we have Rotom over here. Now Rotom is very, very interesting. It covers his whole team as a defensive pivot because we're running Pain Split and Will-O-Wisp, and then we Volt Switch out the whole time. The only issue is that if he brings Heracross. If he does bring Heracross, we have the Rindo Berry. Now I'm gonna be playing a little bit risky by bringing this Rindo Berry. Max attack, Adamant Heracross's Bullet Seed does a maximum of 98%, I believe. It leaves me with like I think a minimum of like 3 HP. So it will not kill unless he crits one of his Bullet Seeds. So I have to hope to God that within those 5 hits, there are no crits involved. But this is really standard. I am running enough defense investments to tank all sorts of hits. The Spadef is there because I can tank things like, I forget the attack. I think Azelf's +2 Psychic I can tank if he runs Nasty Plot Azelf. I can take one at full HP. Will-O-Wisp to burn his things because burning is always nice. That residual damage, you want to burn the and with the Rindo Berry, if I don't have to burn it against the Heracross, I can burn it against the Ferrothorn. I can burn him that way. I can Pain Split safely on his things, on his Power Whips that won't be doing much damage. Even if he crits, he's not going to knock me out. Volt Switch from Momentum. Hydro Pump hits things like Nidoking, like Specs Nidoking doesn't knock me out from full with Sludge Wave. I think it only does like 75% if I remember correctly, something along that lines of that. So Hydro Pump will OHKO the Nidoking unless he's running a lot of HP investments. So this thing was very important as a pivot. The only thing that would suck, I really just don't want him to bring Mega Heracross, because Mega Heracross is actually really annoying to my team. He didn't bring it last week, and I can understand why, because I have a lot of wings to check it. But if he brings it, it's really annoying. So I am bringing this just in case. We also have Landorus here. This is Choice Scarf Landorus. Didn't bring this last time. I don't know. I was rewatching the video, and I think I was under the impression that Scarf Nidoking outsped a Scarf Landorus. I don't know what was wrong with me that night. You guys already know I come home like super late from school and from work, so I was probably really sleepy, and I just built the team right beforehand. Because you guys know I couldn't prep that week. I brought Yachi Berry. Didn't really work out for me. Bringing a Scarf this time, at least with this, I can outspeed the Nidoking. I can have Earthquake, knock off U-turn Stone Edge. Just hits the entirety of his team for really, really hard damage. This does two-shot the defensive Zapdos also with Stone Edge. Knockoff is there for things like Gengar and Victini. Those are both huge threats. U-turn for Momentum. The Momentum is just something I really like. And then Earthquake is really, really, really spammable after I get rid of his immunities like Gengar and Zapdos. I think those are his only immunities. And Azelf too. But I don't know if Azelf would actually ever risk going into Landorus, to be honest. U-turn, Knockoff. Those are both things that are going to just decimate it. Now, before I go over Togekiss, I'm gonna go over Heatran. Togekiss will be last. Stealth Rocker, really high speed def, helps me deal with things like Blastoise. I can survive against. I think at full I can survive a Focus Blast from Gengar. I'm pretty sure I survived it after. I think I did. I think I calced everything to survive after Spikes and Stealth Rock damage. So I'm pretty sure after all that damage, I still survive a Focus Blast from Gengar. Stealth Rock is here, Protect is here because I have leftovers, and Magma Storm. Magma Storm was actually huge this week. Blastoise, Zapdos, anything on the switch-in, they're all going to be trapped and taking residual damage from Magma Storm. And I'll most likely be taking residual damage from my Tyranitar. Even if it is only like 2 or 3 turns, that damage adds up. So the point is, I want to get on my rocks. After that, I'm going to use my Magma Storm attack to trap them in, protect so that they take the residual damage while I also get off my leftovers. If it's like a setup Pokemon, I'm not going to protect. I'm going to go for Lava Plume, because if I get that Lava Plume burn, I'm getting burn damage, Magma Storm damage, potentially Sandstorm damage while recovering HP and doing damage from my attacks too. So this Heatran is huge. It gets rid of defensive checks so well. Because you taunt, like say that like I was fighting. Oh, you know what? Never mind. I'm not gonna talk about that. So, yeah, Heatran is here. Heatran is there to deal with his defensive walls. Blastoise specifically, because Blastoise is really annoying. Also Zapdos, because I can 1v1 the Zapdos. Even if it has a Roost, I'm gonna be doing too much damage with the Magma Storm. I think Magma Storm does like 40%, and then like all the stacked up damage is hurting really hard, and he can't Toxic me, so there's that. And last but not least is Togekiss. I didn't really want to bring Togekiss this week, guys. Togekiss doesn't really do much for me. It OHKOs the Heracross with Air Slash, of course, and it does 1v1, potentially 1v1 a lot of his slower Pokemon depending on flinch chances. I brought it because of Defog. I did not want to be having all those hazards stack up because, like I said, my team is built very exact this week. So I wanted to make sure that I could make sure that the other damage in the back didn't affect my team too much. Heal Bell is because, if anything, he's been really, obviously it's not his fault, but he's been hacking out his opponents the past couple of weeks. Dench got Thunder Waved a lot. Pet got frozen last week. I've had a bad feeling in the pit of my stomach that if I didn't bring a Heal Bell, I'm gonna regret it. So I brought Heal Bell, and of course Roost, because Togekiss is just a fat Pokemon. It's so adorable. Look at it. But max defense, I can survive a Rock Blast potentially, depending on his investments. If he's Jolly, I'll survive it. If he's not Jolly, I'm not gonna survive it. I mean, I have a chance still, but I think like the max roll is 103. Air Slash, I'm faster than it unless he wants to run speed investments. And yeah, and then we have that 12 in speed in case somebody wants to speed creep my Togekiss. I speed creep the speed creep. I usually like to run a random number above 12 or higher. Usually it's 8 or higher, but I think I've been going with 12 or higher lately. This is level 100, so it has to be 12 or higher. Or level 50, so it has to be 12 or higher. And that's my team. And this is going to look a little funky because I'm doing this on Windows Media Player, so you probably see this nonsense. And I'm trying to speed up the game. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to play this game real quick. And you're going to see me just fast forward randomly because I want to get this over with. But team prep, this is me seeing his side. He brought Heracross, Victini, Gengar, Blastoise, Mega Heracross, and Ferrothorn. Those were the 6 Pokemon he brought. Everything I didn't want to see. When I saw that Mega Heracross, I freaked out. So I led with Tyranitar, and we're gonna see what his lead was real quick. We're gonna go ahead and fast forward a bit. Let's click play to see all this stuff that he does. All right. I'm gonna try. Is this speed up? It's not sped up. Let me speed up this video. That way we can like get through it, because there's a 30-minute long clip right here before I get into the post. All right. So check it. All right, I'm gonna be pausing a lot, so forgive me again. I'm gonna be treating this like a showdown post-com. But as you can see, Orbomb, that's me. He sends out Battery Bird to Zapdos, and I set up Built Like Tyranitar. Turn 1, just went for Stone Edge. Didn't really feel like messing with the bullshit, so I'm just gonna go for Stone Edge here. And he, I believe, this is why I didn't. Oh man, I wish you could save disconnected battles, man. Fix that. Sun and Moon. He Volt Switches out here. He gets off minimal damage. I think that was like 10%. That kind of showed me he wasn't specially attack invested, which is really, really convenient for me. I mean, he probably was like a little bit, maybe like 30 or 40 investments. But he's really thinking about what he's going to do here. Here, I believe he either goes to Ferrothorn or Blastoise. He goes into Blastoise, Ferrothorn, I mean, and I go for Stone Edge. I get off some damage. That did a lot more damage than I thought, but that was a crit, so I still couldn't tell if he was Fizdef or Spadef. I'm just going to go straight for the Fire Blast here. I got to play safe because my team is very heavily calculated. Heavily calculated. So I decided to play this game incredibly safe. No need to make any risky doubles. No need to make any plays that might put me in the back if they fail. So here I decided just to go for the straight Fire Blast, and I can get off a huge chunk. I can actually see if he's Spadef or Fizdef, and I missed my Fire Blast, which is unfortunate. He gets the Thunder Wave off. That's fine. I am a minus speed nature, and now Gyro Ball is going to be doing even less to me. If he has Power Whip, it's going to be annoying, but Gyro Ball does minimal damage to me because he just made my speed as low as it can possibly be because I'm already a minus speed nature. The only thing that would have helped if I had 0 speed EVs. But I decided, whatever, I'm just going to go for Fire Blast again. If he switches out, that's fine. Gyro Ball did absolutely nothing. Fire Blast is doing a clean, what was that, 70%? It looks like he was Spadef, but pretty heavily defensive and heavily invested in Fizdef too. I don't know for sure though, because I didn't calc too much. But here, I believe I just went for a Crunch here, because if he did switch out, I can get off a lot of damage. I have a potential chance for a defense drop, and Crunch definitely looked like it killed at that range because the set made it seem very, very obvious that way. I'm going to go ahead and fast forward just a bit more. Oh, maybe that's whenever. Okay, never mind. I got to keep it at that because then it gets choppy. But he's over here thinking, I don't know what he's going to go for here. Oh, let me get rid of that. I'm sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. This is a mess. I don't have that much time either. But yeah, he just gets up his Stealth Rocks. I guess he just figured he'd get up his Stealth Rocks and then sack it off, which is weird to me because I definitely have a Defogger in the back. I do take the Iron Barb damage, but as you can see, I took a pretty decent chunks of hits, but I'm still above 50%. And because of that, I'm still in a range. My Colbert still has effect because Colbert is going to be doing Colbert damaged from like things like Brick Break, HP Fighting, anything like that. It still does below 50%, which is, like I said, I calculated this stuff. I decided that if I do take all this damage, I want to at least still be in range to take the Colbert hits. So here, I think he goes into Blastoise here because Blastoise kind of walls this Pokemon, and I agree with it. And if he does go into Blastoise, I believe I would go into something like Togekiss because I wall Blastoise. I don't have to be Spadef to wall Blastoise. Yeah, he definitely goes into Blastoise here. I don't want to take a Scald. I don't want to be burned. I don't want to take any more damage than I have already. And I can actually Heal Bell with Togekiss too. So it's like, I think Togekiss would be my play. Let's find out. Yes, good old Chari. Look at that beautiful bird. It's so cool looking at. As he goes for Aura Sphere. So we know he has Aura Sphere. That kind of hints to me that he's Assault Vest, which is really good for me because that means he doesn't have Toxic, which is very, very nice, which means I'm good to like stall this guy out. I can go for Defog here. I don't want rocks on the field because rocks do mess up my plan. Very, very nice for me to get rid of his Heart Hazard Setter as soon as I possibly could. So he goes into this thing, which is fine. It doesn't really do anything to me. I can switch out into my Landorus. I can switch out into my Tyranitar. I feel like Landorus is my best play. Even if Landorus does die, I have answers to it in the back. If he has HP Ice, he can't kill me unless it's a crit. We already invested. We already saw the attack investment. He needs a pretty decent chunk of attack investments, or special attack investments, to knock me out with an HP Ice, which means I'm safe to get off one really solid Stone Edge. But here, I definitely don't want to stay in. Don't want to take a T-Bolt. I'm immune to the T-Bolt. Like, he has no reason to not go for T-Bolt too, because T-Bolt hits too much of my team to risk going for HP Ice, and HP Ice is nothing to Togekiss. If I really felt like it, I could have honestly roosted here just to get back a lot of HP. Probably put myself at full, but I didn't want to risk the Thunderbolt, so I do go hard into Dench, the Landorus. And let's see what he goes for here. He doesn't go for the T-Bolt, so I'm safe. I'm just going to go for Stone Edge here because, like I said, playing it super safe. Stone Edge hits too much of his team, especially now that that the Ferrothorn is gone, he doesn't have a resistance to Stone Edge anymore. Because ground doesn't resist rock, right? No, it doesn't. Alright, cool. So Stone Edge is just going to do a solid like 60 or 70% to max defense Zapdos, because I am adamant max attack. No, I'm jolly because I have to outspeed the Nidoking. And over here, we get some pretty decent chunk. It only did 60%, so he is actually max defense. And HP Ice kills because he gets the crit. So that already sucks right there. I lost my way to kill Nidoking. I lost my way to kill a lot of his team. Knockoff, U-turn, all of that is gone. But now I'm actually safe to just click Ice Punch here. He doesn't have a switch into this Pokemon. If he goes into Blastoise, Ice Punch plus High Jump Kick will do a really, really big chunk. And I still have Togekiss in the back, so even if he does Scald Burn me, I can just go into Togekiss and Heal Bell. So I'm actually going to Medichamp's Risk Replay. There's no way I'm going for Fake Out here, because if he did what he did last time, he's going to be running Rocky Helmet Zapdos, and I don't want to take too much damage. I want to keep this thing relatively high HP so I can just Fake Out Bullet Punch. Actually, the HP on Medicham, now that I think about it, doesn't matter. As long as I don't die, I'm in a really good position. And I want to keep it high enough to where Sandstorm won't be my undoing. So my best play here is definitely just click Ice Punch. It kills the Zapdos at this range. Zapdos, not Zapdos. But yeah, Ice Punch, blown away. I know if he was max defense, it did a minimum of 56%. So I always killed there. I do take Rocky Helmet damage, so it was Rocky Helmet as expected. So I'm glad I didn't go for Fake Out there. And now he has to decide what his best play is. Blastoise is a pretty decent play. Things like Gengar and Victini are really good too, because it checks me. Especially if you Scarf Victini. V-Create is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. So we're gonna go and I don't remember what play he makes here. If I were him, I'd just go into Gengar and click Shadow Ball, to be honest, because my team is very, very, very weak to Gengar. Just Ghost in general is just way too good this gen. Gengar is amazing because he can just spam Shadow Ball at all times. If Gengar had a little bit more special attack, or was like anything else, like just changed a little bit to be better, Gengar would be a busted Pokemon. But he goes into Navi instead. I don't know, this thing might have Shadow Ball or Dazzling Gleam, and he's definitely Scarfed. He's probably, he might go for U-turn here either, but I don't want to risk it. I'm just going to go ahead and switch out. Probably going to go into my Tyranitar at this point, because I want to see if I can Pursuit Trap it. No, I mean, not Tyranitar. What did I think? I'm going to Heatran here because I can wall any special attack he goes for, and I can get a chance to get on my rocks. But he decides to U-turn. Kind of sucks for me because now he can go into his Goliath, his amazing, ridiculously most busted Pokemon against my team, Nidoking. But he goes into TMNT instead, which was actually really interesting to me. I have no idea why he did this. But I'm just going to go back into Togekiss because I have absolutely no reason not to. There's no point in me getting up my rocks right now. Most of his rock weeks are dead. The only reason why I want to get up my rocks is so I can break any potential sashes and get off a little bit of chip damage. And I'm sorry guys, dog is sleeping, so she was just doing her thing. But yeah, I believe I just go hard into Togekiss here. Ice Beam does, I think, 30% unless he's like special attack invested, and then it will do that. I don't think there's a way that he can make it do 50 if do above 50% if he's Assault Vest. If he's Assault Vest, which I'm pretty damn sure he is, because nobody runs Aura Sphere. Even though I have a Tyranitar, there's no reason to run Aura Sphere. I do Protect here to scout. Kind of, I think that was a bad play on my part, to be completely honest, because I have no reason to reveal Protect there when I could just go hard into the Togekiss. If he does go Aura Sphere here, predicting anything, I do have what was it? I do have Togekiss in the back too, so I can take that. And then he goes for Scald here, gets off a pretty decent chunk, but yeah, based on that damage, he's definitely not doing above like 40% with Ice Beam. So I'm just gonna go for Roost here. I am burned, which is really annoying because that really deteriorates my defensive capabilities. And here's whenever the game gets a little funky, because I decided that I'm just going to stall out this Blastoise and get off his like just bits of chip damage, because chip damage is once again really important for me to win this game. And without my Ice typing, that did about 10%, 15% maybe, which means that an Ice Beam with my Flying typing will be doing about 30%. And when I said without my Ice typing, I meant without my Flying typing. But yeah, that burn is really adding up. I'm probably going to go for Heal Bell here, get rid of the paralysis on my Tyranitar. That way there's no chance of me getting fully parried on an important turn, because my speed doesn't matter. It's all about the full paralysis chance. And then getting rid of this burn, because that burn is super duper annoying. And if he goes for Ice Beam here, that's perfectly fine. He can get off his damage. And the goal is for me to put myself at a high HP while at the same time going for Air Slash. So you're going to see me doing this for a little bit. Luckily, this part of the match is almost over, and then I can go into actual like saved game. But yeah, Ice Beam here. Ice Beam does about 30-40% as expected, because, you know, we saw the damage it did without the flying typing. And I just go for Air Slash to get off damage. Didn't go for Heal Ball yet. I just feel like maybe I just didn't want to predict it, or I didn't want to get burned again, I guess. I don't know what my mindset was. He just goes for Scald, and then right now I'm just going to go for Heal Bell. I believe I'm at a high enough HP where even if he does switch out, I can just go for Heal Bell. I'll be still above 50%, which is pretty convenient for taking a lot of damage. And the leftovers really helps in this situation too. So I'm glad I ran leftovers instead of like the poison resist berry I was essentially planning on doing. But Scald is gone. He's probably going to go for Ice Beam here. Yep. Which is fine, because I am faster than the Blastoise, and even Ice Beam's not a 2 KO at that range either. So now we just roost it off, get our health back. Eventually, he's going to switch out, but I have no reason to. No matter what he switches into, even if he goes into Nidoking, that's fine. Because I have enough sacks right now. Like, I'm one Pokemon ahead, which means if everything goes well, I have more than enough sacks to still win this game, even if he does make the hard play and go into Nidoking, which is fine with me, because... if he does go into Nidoking, he's 100% going for Sludge Wave, because I have 5 Pokemon that are not going to be taking Sludge Wave well at all, and the only one that will be taking it pretty decently will be the Heatran, because it's immune. And at this point, because I knocked out his defensive Pokemon, and I have ways of dealing with Blastoise, I don't even think I need Heatran here. So I believe I switch out into Heatran. Don't really need it at this point. If he does go for Earth Power, predicting it, good for him. It doesn't really gain him anything. And I don't need Heatran at all. I don't need my rocks up. I don't need any of that nonsense. The only thing that Heatran would be good for is trapping things, but I don't need to trap anything. Because what I can do at this point is, when my Heatran faints, I can go hard into my Medicham and just get off my big damage. One way or another. Pretty much every time Medicham comes in at this point, something will be dying. And if he goes into Azelf, I can just fake out Bullet Punch, or I can fake out, switch out, go into my Heatran again, go back in go into my whatever Pokemon I need to, go back into my my Medicham and just click fake out and Bullet Punch. So as you can see, I did go into Heatran. He did go for Sludge Wave, so my Heatran is here to stay, at least for one turn. He might predict me to switch out. I am just going to go for Lava Plume here, because damage is damage, and if I can put this thing in range of like any attacks, it'd be convenient. So Lava Plume, if he does switch out for whatever reason, predicting anything like Shuka Berry or Scarf, or maybe he is Scarfed, I don't know, he might be Scarfed too, he might be locked in, he might be Specs, I don't know. But if he's predicting anything and switches out, I get off some big Lava Plume damage. And he knows I'm leftovers, so he actually is not going to predict the Shuka Berry. If anything, he should be going for Earth Power here, but he actually switches out, which kind of tells me that he might be locked in. I just go for Lava Plume here, and now it's time. I get off my play. I burn him, which is incredibly convenient for me that I got off that burn, because now I can actually trap him with Magma Storm, and I already have the burn damage off. But I missed the first Magma Storm, which is huge, because now he can actually opt to switch out. That way this thing won't actually faint. But because he's Assault Vest, we can see based off the Air Slash damage and the Lava Plume damage, we know that he's not going to have any recovery whatsoever. So Magma Storm here, that's a thumbnail. But look, I get my leftovers back. He takes burn damage, and he takes Magma Storm damage. So all I have to do here, because he's trapped, he can't switch out, all I have to do is protect, get more leftovers back, and he'll die to burn or Magma Storm, whichever one comes first. I think burn comes first. So yeah, I get my leftovers back. I'm back in the green, which is really nice. And like I said, I got that part off, so now all of his defensive walls are gone. So I really don't need Heatran here. And this is where we are actually going to DC. So you're gonna see a bit of a screen flip. It might be like looking different too, but we'll be back in 1 second. Alright guys, we're back, picking up right after the DC. I'm gonna go back into Heatran. He's gonna go into whatever Heracross, and we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna try to figure out a way to make this work without having to like redo Pokemon. For instance, if you were to do 50% to me here, I would just consider my Heatran knocked out. Right here I go to my Heatran. Like I said, I can't let him set up a sub, and I don't have a reason I have Heatran anymore, so I'm gonna keep it in just to sack it off, go for the Lava Plume, fish for a burn. He goes for Rock Blast. Now if that would have landed and do over 50%, we would have started the game over, and I would have just been like, okay, I don't have Heatran anymore. But since it missed, I do get off my Lava Plume. He just goes for close combat here, knocking me out for sure. Yeah, like I said, if he were to go into whatever attack he would have done. We would have put ourselves in the position where I would have just started the game over, get the exact damage, but whatever, doesn't matter. Now I go to my Rotom because this is the exact moment I was waiting for, the time to use my Rindo Berry to survive no matter what. Get off my Volt Switch this time because the Volt Switch killed already at that range, but thanks to his defense drop, I didn't even have to worry about calcing it to make sure. I'm pretty sure Volt Switch had like 35% if I remember correctly when I calced it. But yeah, I made it to where this will always survive at minimum 3 HP. So we get Volt Switch here, we do get another kill, and he only has his Scarfed Azelf. Well, I figured I was Scarfed, but like Azelf and Nidoking left, and we already know that Nidoking is most likely Scarfed. And the Azelf, from what I hear, he brings Scarfed almost every week. So we go into Medicham here. It's not Mega because we have to restart, but whatever, we just Mega here. We go for our Fake Out, get off the damage. Now I'm gonna go into I'm gonna go ahead, get the Fake Out off, get off a pretty decent amount of damage. He looks like he's a little bit HP invested. We're gonna go ahead and just switch out here now. Sack off the Rotom because we already did what we needed with Rotom, so that can be sacked off now. And I'm gonna go back into Medicham. I wasn't 100% sure if he was Scarfed yet, so I didn't want to go into Tyranitar, you know, make the hard play. I'm just gonna go right back into Medicham, get off another Fake Out, and do the thing. Now, Fake Out damage means Bullet Punch kills right afterwards. I didn't want to reveal Bullet Punch yet, mainly because he wouldn't die yet. I didn't want to deal with any shenanigans that made me like get critted a loss or whatever. And I didn't want damage on my Medicham, because Medicham, if this is Scarf Nidoking like I think it is, I'm able to survive a Shadow Ball, which is the hardest hitting move you can do at me, because only there's a maximum of 88%. He goes for Sludge Wave here, probably his best play. He might not have Shadow Ball, but yeah, as we can survive, yeah, it does a maximum of 88%, that Shadow Ball. If it's modest, I think it does like 98 or something like that. I don't remember. But I know it doesn't kill me no matter what. He has to be life for specs, but we do kill him with the Ice Punch, and we just go ahead and Bullet Punch for game. So luckily, none of the Pokemon that were damaged from prior besides the Heatran came into play, because that would have made things a bit complicated. But yeah, we do get the game now, which means that your boy, Orbomb, coach of the Houston Megahorns, make it to the MPL finals in my very first season in the MPL, which is really exciting for me. I guess it's hype. It's whatever. We get to battle either Daneki or Moxie Infernape, whichever one of them makes it. Ignore that, guys. I'm probably gonna cut that out. Well, anyways, yeah. So good game, Byser. It was fun. I played that game extremely safe, as you guys saw, which is why I did so much team prep, just making sure everything worked out. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Drop a like, subscribe, share, all that good jazz, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.